welcome back. How are you?
Oh man, good, good. I'm excited again. Man, it's a good night. It's
It's
going to
it's been a.
continue.
Do you like my angelic glow? I know they're going to comment on
Yeah,
it. So do you see my heavenly glow? So,
yeah. Oh
um,
yeah.
my IT guy he installed or my studio guy installed some black lights, and now I got this kind of like aura going. So I kind of feel
There you go.
heavenly, man. So you
All
are blessed,
right.
Dane. No, I'm kidding. So, um, dude, that first one was Kenny was pretty cool. What'd you think of him?
Yeah,
Awesome guy,
yeah.
huh?
I love it. Yeah, great message. I mean, from such a young guy to have that much
Yeah.
knowledge and that be that positive for the future. It's great.
Yeah. The
Loved it.
Goldbergs is a great show.
Oh
Everything he's
yeah.
ever done is great. And
Yeah.
again, all love to Kenny, but Dane, there's an artist. You can't get more pure of talking about an artist than this lady that we have coming on tonight. As you know, Dane, and I will arm wrestle you for days on this. I'm a huge Batman fan. I love DC. I love Marvel, but
Yeah.
I have been a fan of this lady's work for a very long time. She's got her own signature series called Lady Killer. Has obviously
Yes.
worked on things with Wonder Woman, Amazons. Batman 34, love it, have it framed in my studio room. So many great things this lady has done, and we
Yeah.
talk all the time, Dane, about females inspirations while we do this show, making a
Right.
name and helping set the standard for the next generation of ladies. And
Absolutely.
nobody does it better than this amazing artist, which I can't waste any more time. Got to get into it and bring on the wonderful Joëlle Jones. Joelle, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Amazing.
Excellent.
It's a true privilege, Joel. We like I
Yeah.
said, what you're doing for the genre as well as just kind of casting that net. A big shadow. I will tell you, you have a big shadow of people to fill. So
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Dane and I, Joel, have some questions over the years that the audience and I have cultivated. So I'm going to kind of dive into it. A few questions for you.
Yeah.
So obviously, before your signature series, again, love it, have them framed, love Lady Killer, love what you've done with Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, obviously, my Batman, love it. Before all these things, these published work that you're known for, I'm curious about the early days, maybe a story
Yeah.
that you have that you wrote that's never published, maybe even a character back in the day, taking back to the early days, some stuff maybe that you started working on at the very beginning, if you could share that with us, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I might as well just embrace being embarrassed because I think in high school, I hung out with a bunch of other like really nerdy comic book people, and we all wanted to make our own comics. And so I had probably like everybody else in the 90s, I had a vampire comic that I worked on
I love
uh,
it.
for years. Yeah. I still have a soft spot in my heart for it, but it is total garbage.
It's fantastic. Did you have a name for it or is it still under wraps or?
I never had a title. No, I mean, the main character's name was Vashti.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, there you go.
she was. This was before I was exposed to Blade,
Hmm.
and I know that there was like another Dampier, like half vampire, half. But I was obsessed with Vampire Hunter D, like the anime,
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
yeah.
so I wanted to take on that, but like in ancient Rome. So it's like full on super 90s pretentious teenage girl making up a book. So
I'm
yeah.
with you. Yeah. So it's got this Anne Rice meets Dead Romans type thing going, is what you're going for
Yeah.
Yeah.
back then. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Now, did you do the writing and all the artwork on that as well, or did you guys collaborate through all of that?
No, we like each one of us was off in our corners doing our own thing and we
Oh,
like present it to each other and then we do fan art for each other's stuff, which this is before Tumblr. So we were really
Yeah.
getting it.
It's fantastic. So they're out there somewhere. There's some unreleased, unpublished, great vampire novels waiting to happen. But it's
well,
hot
there you
right now.
go.
You think about Anne Rice, just the re-release of Anne Rice's, Interview with the Vampire, of course, True Blood.
Yeah.
Vampire
Yep.
stuff's hot. So maybe there's something in the
Yeah,
works
there
for
you
you,
go.
you know?
I've
So
Yeah, I've always been an obsessive fan of like Dracula and all vampire books and movies, good or bad. I'll consume
Nice.
it all. So
I love
yeah.
it. I love it. Then go ahead, man. That's awesome. I love it.
From those early days to the things that you're doing now, all the stuff you've written and the artwork you've created for this genre, which obviously encompasses young and old. I mean, I'm old, but even older than me. I mean, comics have been around since I can remember. What is maybe one of your favorite series or projects that you've been able to work on thus far in your career?
Hmm.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have to say, like getting Batman was like a red letter day. That's
Wow.
huge. And it was a really big deal. You know, probably the one that has my heart is Catwoman, always.
Yep. Yeah.
Catwoman. You know, I've always been a fan of Catwoman since before I was writing vampire books in high school. I was obsessed with Catwoman. So, yeah, hands down.
That's and think
Wow.
about this, because Dane knows I am sorry, Joelle, if your bosses are listening. I am pro DC. I love Marvel as well, but I've been DC. I always say Batman, and all of the Batman megaverse is my favorite. All of that. I love everything all about it. So when you think about obviously what you do with Batman, Catwoman, the influence that you're leaving on the world, there is I mean it when I say there's a shadow that you have casted. Lady Killer is
Yeah.
phenomenal. It's so neat how it's so different when you look at what you did with that, how it's just a whole different thing. It's very atomic blonde, very like this cool chic like 60s fashion thing. I love everything you've done with it. The again, let me stop fanboying, but the influence that you've left on people. Has there been a couple artists? I mean, there's got to be an artist that you've watched throughout your career that's like left a mark on you. Who's been that muse for you? You know?
Do you know, I think my tastes change all the time. It's like I educate myself artistically, but I think the constant has always been like Adam Hughes and Chris Bachalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris Bachalo changed my life when I saw his stuff, and to this day, you know, I see the stuff that he puts out, and I'm always in awe of him. And same with Adam Hughes for sure.
Man, it's such a that those are two like household names. But isn't it cool though, Joel? And again, I'm not trying to be pretentious, but think about Adam, and then now when I say when you go to any comic book store, like I have friends that own comic book stores in Kansas, they're going to throw out Adam's name, and they're going to throw out your name now because it's one of those household names. How cool does that feel to know that you're in that movement of, hey, I am known for what I've done? That's got to be a cool feeling, you know? I don't know, but cool.
No, I don't feel that way, but I hear it.
Like I told you kind of off the air, you know, we've had some different types of people on. Like you're talking to Joelle. What? Like it's just crazy how the net is cast so big. Well, it's so the memories, Dane, before you go into four, because we talk about memories, and comics have kind of been that escape, that safe place for a lot of people. I grew up also, I'm a 90s baby as well, only because I know followed you that we're pretty close in age. I'll never forget going like to the local grocery store. My mom and dad would drop me off at the front, go walk around grocery shop for 2 hours and read all the comics, just consume everything, right? And how it's still now, you probably watch like the Marvel movies and DC. Like I've been a fan of this since the beginning. How crazy it is to see like this movement that was started really when we were kids. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean it feels a little strange to share the like I'm a huge X-Men fan, big time, and I would get it all the time. And when they came out with the first movie, I was excited, but also I'm like, wait, I don't want to share this inner world that I have with other people.
This is mine. Yeah.
And I still get little hits of it every now and then with like, if they make a movie of a character I really like, I'm like, no. That's not for everybody. That's my thing. Like, you know, I guess it's a classic comic book nerd gatekeeping of like, no, it's mine.
Yeah. Me and Dane always say that's not historically accurate. Like, what? Is that historically accurate if the movie's different? You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
No, none of my family will go to any Marvel or DC movies with me ever.
That's not right. That's not accurate. I love it.
Yeah, no.
Awesome. Then go ahead, man.
So when you've all the stuff that you've done, what's now for you going into the future to kind of maybe wrap up the year coming in 2024? What's some of the things, maybe one or two projects that you have on the horizon that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, it feels so weird because I've come off of doing monthly books for so many years. And now I'm like these slow burn, long projects. So I feel like I have nothing going on, but I do. It just doesn't feel the same. I don't think I can keep it I don't have to keep it a secret, but I'm working with Distillery,
Cool.
new comic book company on the scene, and they're just kind of letting us have fun and go crazy. And so me and Ram V have been cooking up something. He's an incredible writer, and I'm super excited. I can't believe he has the time to do another book, but apparently he does. So I'm very, very excited. It's very like horror like oriented, which is also a huge thing for me. So I'm psyched.
So this is your favorite time of year then? Because we're going into the spooky season. That's your favorite time of year, I bet, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh my God. My house I spent the last 3 days decorating it. So if any of my editors are expecting anything, that's why I didn't.
I love it.
There you go.
Dane, before you go bonus, Dane, if you will, Dane,
Yeah.
I'm curious, Joel, when you think about this, I look 5, 6 years back, and I make weekly visits. I go my local comic shop. I'm a big fan of supporting
Mhm.
that. I go and I get my stack. Like, hey, you get your stack and all that. Before this digital age thing, right now it's like Marvel Unlimited. You've got DC Unlimited, Comixology. Honestly, and it's maybe you don't want to answer this, it's fine if not. Do you feel like it's like the like Spotify for musicians, this Marvel Comics digital and all that? Are you a fan of that, or do you feel like that takes something away? What's your honest take on that, if you want to share on the digital comic revolution?
I think it's not how I like to read books, but I think that I'm a Gen Xer,
Yeah,
so
right.
but people that grew up with technology, computers, and all that, that will be their first foray into
Mhm.
a lot of media. So I think it's kind of a choose your own adventure, like what
Mm.
Yeah.
suits read it. And I think that if you're not inclined to grab a paper book, then that's a wonderful way to experience it. As long as more eyeballs are reading comics,
I love
I'm
it.
very happy.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that because at my house, it's funny because I'll go and like I said, I'll go once a week. My daughter, she's a DC nut. She has the app, and she'll sit there on her iPad and she'll read like 10 or 15. I'm flipping through. I have them framed, the whole deal. So it just, I was
Yeah.
wondering what your take was. Dan, you want to go into bonus, Dan?
Yeah, and even to kind of add on to that, you hate to see the days go by where you visit your buddies and they bring out their collection, say, "Look what I've got." They show you some vintage comic that maybe was passed down from an elder, and you're just in awe of that kind of thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully those days won't be gone too soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Well, people are collecting VCRs now.
that's true.
Like
yeah,
in I think there will always be analog people.
Yeah,
definitely,
that's true.
definitely.
Yeah.
When you're writing and creating a story, uh, writing and artwork for it, what is a typical time frame for maybe just one volume to come out, from basically concept to drawing to writing and all that? What's the time frame that you guys usually set on that? Or is it just kind of, okay, let's just see where it takes us and let's just create until we're done?
Yeah, I wish it was that. If we're talking just like the big two,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's very, very quick. Like ideally, it's like 30 days.
Really?
Obviously, I was not able to keep up with that, but I think you could do it when you're younger, and then like burnout kind of
Mhm.
gets you, and you're just like, oh, the grind of a monthly
Mhm.
book and doing it. But back when I had more energy, then yeah, 30 days, I could totally do it.
That is a quick turnaround time. Even I told Dane back to my playing days, and we'd have to maybe produce something and get it to the
Yeah.
guy. 30 days doesn't seem like it's art. Like it's almost like you want there to be no timeline, but also you want to have like finality at the same time. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's something beautiful about being pushed really hard, and
Mhm.
like the amazing things that can come out of it, like even surprises you.
Mhm.
But
That's
then
good.
after a time, it's like maybe that's too much pushing.
I love it. Before we go to rapid, which I'm going to make you laugh a lot. Before we go to that, I'm a huge fan. I've always been in everything I ever read. I always root for the villain. I always
Yeah.
do. When you're writing, do you prefer? And it's okay. Maybe you can't say. Are you more of a pro villain or a pro hero when you're writing?
Oh, I think it depends on the type of story.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Catwoman, pro villain, that's super fun.
Yep.
Wonder Girl, be more hopeful, and yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it depends.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It kind of
Yeah.
depends. I get you. So I love it. Well, Joel, there's a segment I guarantee you. This is kind of our benchmark segment. Here in a second, we're going to make you crack up. Every episode, our fans are awesome. They give us about 5 or 6 questions per episode. It's called rapid fire. This is the only part we don't prep you for at all. What this is designed to do, there's no wrong answer. Dane and I, we already bet what we think you're going to say. We have 5 questions we're going to present to you. Now they're PG, but they're weird and they're fun. Okay.
Okay.
What it's going to be is it's personality. There's no wrong answer, but we think we know what you're going to say. And the winner gets lunch provided by the loser. So me and Dan are betting against you.
Whoa.
Pretty cool, huh? So, Dan,
Okay.
you ready?
Yeah. I got some catching
Okay.
up to do, as always.
I got you. So this takes the big two and it kind of pits them against each other for a second, similar to the amalgam days back in the day. All you OGs from the amalgam days, this one's for you. So going back, let's say for a moment, Joëlle, you're cast into a series and you get to actually be planted as yourself. We'll say that you can maybe eat the sun or something, got a really cool power, and you're transplanted into the world of comics, and you can fight one of these two villains, and you can be basically the victor. Now, we'll say, I don't know, it's 2023. You can take on, as Joëlle, with your powers, you can take on Thanos, or you can take on Doomsday. Now, Thanos is not going to snap, he can't snap, but just taking them on, would you rather fight Thanos, or would you rather fight Doomsday? Go.
I go with Thanos.
Let's go. I had you for that. I really did. Dane, how about you?
I put Doomsday because he can always just keep getting stronger.
Yeah,
really puts you to the test there.
I love it. Yeah, I cried the day. I'm just gonna say, man, I was in school when they actually made an announcement of the intercom the day that Superman died. So Doomsday and me are not cool. So I cried. I was in fourth grade. I'll never forget it. But they actually had a stop in school that said, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news." It was on the news, dude, when Superman died. It was crazy, man. Like, but it was crazy. So
that's how I read comics. It was my first.
Yeah.
It was on the news, and that's when I started reading it.
So side note, Joëlle, my brother's 5 years older than me. I kid you not. You know those things that you're like, did this really happen? So my brother had literally he had the first edition, literally had the whole set. I get home one day and he's coloring in it. No, what are you doing? So that was my side note. Okay, question 2. So they're gonna make a documentary on Joëlle Jones. They're gonna do a lifetime special. I don't know, it's gonna be somewhere. And you get 2 of these awesome. We love both these ladies. They're gonna play you. They're gonna be you in this movie. So you get to choose to have either Meg Ryan or Jennifer Aniston play you in this Joëlle Jones biopic. Who you going with?
Oh. That's tricky. Meg Ryan now or Meg Ryan in the 80s?
It can be in the inner prime, if you will.
Does that mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
No, maybe Jennifer Aniston. She's a
Let's
little
go.
more. Yeah.
I actually had you for Meg Ryan. How about you, Dane?
No, I had Aniston. That's Jennifer
1-1.
There you go.
Okay. Dane, we're both 1-1. Okay, so switching gears a little bit, you're known for being a prolific writer in the world of comics and fantasy and all that. So obviously, based off of what I know about you, 90s baby like myself and Dane to an extent. So check this out. You're called up to go completely different direction, and 2 of these iconic 90s grunge bands want you to write a song for them. They want you to ghostwrite. We're going back to 1994. You can write a song for either A, Alice in Chains, or you can write a song for Pearl Jam and you get the credit for it. Which one are you going with?
Alice in Chains.
Let's go, Dane. I'm killing it. By the way, I'm sure you know Jerry Cantrell did an actual soundtrack for a DC movie, so I kind of had you on that one. So
Yeah.
Let's go. So check this out. Dane, what did you have on that, Dane?
Oh, Alice in Chains. Let's
go.
I love that. Well, we both love that band.
Yeah. Top 5 all time. So that was
I'm
thank
from
you.
the Pacific Northwest, so it might be a little bit of a
Bias,
situation, but gotta go.
No, we're top 5 all time. We have no problem saying that. So next question. You're asked to write a upcoming series for Vertigo. Vertigo, kind of an off-spin. They say, hey, we're going to go a little bit different direction. We're going to make something kind of comical but kind of weird. We're going to give you 2 characters that you have to write a storyline about. Check it out. The 2 characters are either A, you got to write a story about Macaroni Man, or B, Tabasco Man, and you got to make it cool. So Macaroni Man or Tabasco Man, which one are you going with? That's a fan question.
Tabasco.
Let's go, Dane. I had you on that one. Dane, what'd you have?
Yeah, Tabasco. There's more.
He's spicy.
I guess. Yeah, there's more room there. Maybe some horror. You can go down to horror.
Yeah,
venue.
let's go. Oh my gosh, my eyes! I can't see. I can just see the story.
Yeah, there you go.
Macaroni's so safe and everybody likes it. Like that's not interesting.
Yeah, let's go. I love it. That'd be the hero, and Tabasco would be the villain. I got you. I see what you're doing. I got you.
There you go.
I'm with you. So last question, Joëlle. So Lady Killer is they come to you and say, hey, we're gonna make a movie out of it. Lady Killer is going to be turned into production. Love it. I think it's great work. And you get to pick one of these 2 leading ladies to be the main character. Okay. You're obviously the consultant, all of that. You can choose from, which I love both these ladies. You can choose from Kate Beckinsale or Ronda Rousey to be the lead character. Who are you going with?
They're
both great, but
I'm going to go with Kate Beckinsale.
Let's go. I had to.
because I
I really did.
feel like she could play the unsuspecting more that
Yep.
she's dangerous.
I
Ronda
love it.
Rousey is a little bit intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, a little bit more. You know what's going to happen, right? I got you.
You
Yeah,
can
So,
see it coming. Yeah.
I got it. Dane, how about you?
Oh yeah, Beckinsale. I always liked her work in Underworld,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
she's good.
Well, that's a little segment that we do. Hopefully, in interviews you've had, Joelle, that's a different spin, something you haven't had before. So
It's
thanks for being
fun.
a
I
good
like
sport.
that. Yeah.
Love it, love it. So the final segment, I'll give it back to you, Dane, if you will, for the
Yeah.
final segment.
Joel, on this segment, we called it open mic. We open the floor to our guests to kind of maybe tell some of our younger viewers that look up to you and want to be inspired by maybe some of the words that that you can tell them, or maybe even follow your career as you've drawn and done some great things in the comic world. Are there maybe a few words that you can give some of those younger aspiring artists, musicians, athletes, maybe to help them along in their career? Maybe something that you've carried with you, maybe some words of wisdom or a philosophy that you've carried?
Oh, other than like just practice, practice, practice. Like it's a strong work ethic that you have to have. I think that, when you're younger or maybe even when you're older and it's like a side hustle or you're supposed to be in school and to be, you're going to get picked on or told to stop doodling or, stop daydreaming and all that. And, I suppose it's important to listen, but there is something special about indulging in your imagination and just, nobody can control what's going on in your head. So have a good time, play around. Like it's super fun and there's no rules.
I love that. No rules. It's funny, Joel, because whether it's an artist like yourself or an actor like we've had on, or musicians or athletes, I feel like there's something about everyone that creates something, everyone that's inspired someone like yourself. I feel like there's something about the DNA of you guys where it's like, look, I'm going to carve my own path. I'm not going to let somebody tell me I can't. And I hear that in you as well. It's like you've carved your own path very well, successfully, and as maybe early on, like this was started off as a hobby, it's turned into a full-fledged career for you, and it gives those ladies out there hope that maybe that's something they want to pursue. Maybe it is an actual thing. Art class is their favorite class. It's okay to really take that up a notch and make something out of it, like you did,
Yeah.
So
yeah, nobody can tell you to not love something.
Right.
So even if you have to covert do it, just love it.
You're good. So no, Joel, I'm telling you, what you have done as I close this, and Dane knows what you've done for the genre of the industry in general, plus for those aspiring ladies. It is we can't, there's not nothing we said about it. So thank you for continuing to kind of carve that path. Again, big shoes to fill. So please let me know if this is an open invitation. In the future, as new work come out for you, we always have this platform. Maybe those early OG stuff, you want to share it. Bring back that. So we'll be glad to share it for you. Okay. So
yeah, I mean, as long as you have those kooky questions again, I will absolutely do it.
I'll double up. I'll give you 10 next
I was
time,
going to say our fans are never leave us short of questions to ask. So
I love it.
That's a guarantee.
I left out a few. There was one question about would you arm wrestle Sasquatch? I was like, I'm leaving that one off. So it's like, hey, maybe she would. Maybe she'd write a little story about him. So
no, we'd rip your arm off. Absolutely not.
Let's go. Well, Joel, I will say bucket list for real. I followed you for a long time. Thank you for making this happen. I hope in the future you'll come back again soon. We'll give you some time back in there. Let's stay in touch, if you will, and we'll get this out to the world as soon as we can. Okay. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Of course, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch and you take care. Okay. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Joel. So Dane, I'm telling you, man, what this lady has done to kind of carve out a man. Dane, I'm literally speechless. You know that doesn't happen very often, but what she's done to kind of carve out a path for the next generation. What do you think of her tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the things that you do, like I always say, if you do something great, people are going to gravitate to you. And, people have, and like you say, from her early days of writing, thinking, this isn't good, to now what she's doing, inspiring others, even us, like I say, that's one of the great things I love about what we're doing and the guests that we talk to. Even at me being the age I am, older than most, I still get inspired, and I still listen to these things that our guests tell us, some of the words of wisdom, and I take a lot of those to heart, and I pass them on to whoever I can. And that's, if you open yourself up, you're going to learn something from everybody you talk to. And she's no different. I mean, she has a lot of knowledge, and you get it from every avenue, which, makes you a more well-rounded person.
And then you've known me literally my entire life, and you know
Yeah.
how big I've been in this world. I've loved comics since I was a kid, since
Yeah.
I was a
Yeah.
little boy. And I remember like it is another avenue. Music is an avenue, TV
Yeah.
is an avenue, and there's an avenue of escape for kids that maybe, again, it's okay if maybe maybe you're not the typical jock or the typical guitar player.
Yeah.
This is another avenue of a community where people just welcome you and accept you.
Yeah.
The world of this D&D, comic books, writing, literature, manga. This is an
Yeah.
entire society of just people that accept you for who you
Yeah.
are, and I love it. I love everything about what
Absolutely.
they do, and it's cool that
Oh,
you
yeah.
said this early on, where I would tell you, like, when you take me to movies when I was younger, like, that's not like the comics. You'd be like, stop! I'm just trying to watch a movie, right?
Yeah.
We watch,
Yeah.
Deadpool or something and all that. It's like, this is not
Yeah.
historically accurate. That's my culture, right? People that
Yeah.
it's another, like, just another segment of just bringing people together. That this sports and music is a great way to bring people together, just a whole other genre or avenue, if you will. So
Yeah, and the imagination that you have inside can come out on those pages, and as you become, like we said, a more well-rounded individual, those characters and those stories will have so much more depth, and and there's that aspect, there's no limit to what you can create.
Man, there's, and I tell you, Dan, what's great about writing is, she talked about being from that 90s generation. That's you. You're a Gen Xer,
Yeah.
and she hit it on the head. Like, it's no question that, in my opinion, all of the greats, they came from, in my opinion, everything that's great now started and budded and blossomed from the 90s, right? You think about it. Great TV shows, actors, movements, literature, artists, all of that started in the 90s, and look at what she's doing now. It is a movement. You can literally walk in any comic book store, any bookstore, and say, hey, you got Lady Killer, 1 second, and they're gonna, it's literature, right? You're gonna talk about, do you have Batman 34? Do you have pieces of Wonder Girl? They're gonna be able to show you this is what she's done, right? So it's not just some brand new. She has built her craft for a while and at the top of her game still. So.
And what a feather in the cap to, know that a lot of your work is going to be sitting on people's shelves in boxes that others will show off later in life when they're older, saying, look what I have. And then your name's going to be on that, and you're going to live forever in that aspect.
I've got about 5 in my downstairs studio. I've got about 5 or 6 comics that are encased and they're on the wall.
Yeah.
34, Batman 34 is one of them. My daughter loves, of course, Lady Killer. I've got the Apocalypse series framed, and I've got a couple of the Nightfalls. But she's in my kind of bucket list of rotation of things that are on my wall, because there's just the writing style, the way she relates to people, and again, I close on this, the way she helps progress female influences. I love that about her.
Absolutely.
So that's why we do this, But man,
man,
I literally got a fanboy out, Dan. That was another. The bucket list keeps getting bigger. Now it's like it's not even a 55-gallon barrel anymore, Dane. It's
we're gonna need a dump truck or something.
Man, yeah. Well, Dane, help me kind of, like, I don't know, I'm gonna go run or something to come off that adrenaline rush. But what's crazy, Dane, is the week's not even over. Tomorrow night we've got a pre-Halloween episode for you guys. We have Courtney Cameron, awesome UFC MMA specialist. And then
speaking of inspiration, talk about inspiration.
Out there literally getting it done in the ring. And then Tuesday, for your Halloween spooky edition, we've got our buddy CJ from Hill Country Revival, and we'll end the week, if you will, with Alden Wiley, a great softball player, as you know, is dear to us. So, wow, Dan, what a week, man! What a week in review already. So,
love it.
Well, thank you on behalf of Kenny from earlier, and of course, Joelle, our friend. Thank you for making this bucket list happen. On behalf of everyone out there listening worldwide, don't forget that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.